Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and once again, I'm here with Chandra with Aran and Franklin Engineering. Chandra, we were talking about health before we came on air, and talking about, I've got my webmaster is getting stents put in today. Another friend of mine, her brother had a heart attack. You said you were taking your mom to some funerals and stuff this week and next week. Let's talk about maintenance and health, not only on us, but let's talk about home health. We had a pretty rough July, and a lot of people are
Yes.
still doing some repairs on that. And with rental season coming up, now's about the time you need to look at your house and see what you need to do to maintain it so it's safe for your renters or vacation rentals, or your use, or your friends coming down and using it. But with TDI insurance and stuff, you have to have repairs done for one storm before another one hits, or your insurance may not cover it. Is that right?
That's right. One of the things we were talking about is even if you didn't get paid out for the storm or you didn't file a claim, if you have damages, they have to be repaired. And if you make those repairs, they have to be done in accordance with TDI.
Right.
So even like the problem that we had after Harvey was a lot of people got flood damage.
Right.
And they were like, oh, I got flood damage. I'm just going to rip out my walls and replace these windows and doors and all this stuff, especially homes that were on the ground. Well, when they went to replace them, they didn't realize they had to have all that stuff inspected. Even though it was for flood damage,
Right.
it was still something that needed to be done according to the TDI requirements. So we're still catching that stuff up as they come up. People trying to sell their house or refinance or get new insurance. They're realizing that they didn't get all that stuff certified.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the same thing with Beryl that we had last summer. You need to make sure that the repairs that you made are done in accordance with TDI requirements, and that even if you don't pay for it through insurance, you've got to get it certified. One of the other things, I had a client this last week. They were like, well, I don't really need TDI because I'm going to self-insure. And I was like, hey, that's fantastic. You're going to self-insure. You don't have to, write that check every year. You're going to pay for damages out of your pocket. The problem is you're not going to be here forever.
Whenever you go to sell a house,
what happens if your health declines and you need to take a loan against this to pay your medical expenses or your living expenses, and you can't get a loan because you never got TDI insurance or certification to be able to get TDI insurance? So even if you're not going to take a policy, at least get the certification so you or someone down the line would have the ability to get insurance through TDI. It's really important, or through TWIA. It's really important because if you don't have that TDI certificate, you can't get TWIA insurance. It's going to happen.
It could hold up a home sales too if you're going to sell the home.
We do that all the time, David. It's crazy.
Very few people keep their home forever.
That's right.
At some point, either you're going to sell it, or maybe your family members or your kids are going to sell it, and so you have to look at down the road. It's like my mom, she's got a cracked slab, and she said, I'm not going to worry about it. Y'all can worry about it.
That's
and
right.
I said,
yeah.
Well, Mom, as is fine with me, but what happens if it cracks your plumbing before, because she's up in by Lake Travis,
right?
Happens before you decide to sell the home,
That's right. Then it is your problem.
Now you're going to pay a lot more. So
that's one of the big things is that, a lot of people are just thinking about their particular situation.
Right.
They're not really thinking about if later on down the line they need to borrow money, if they need to sell that property, if their kids inherit it and they need to sell the property.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's going to be in that same financial situation that you're in. And so it's always good to really look at all the options, even if you don't execute that option to buy that insurance, which you don't have to.
Right. At least
if you don't have a note on it. Now, if you have a note on it, you're going to have to buy it. You're going to have insurance. But if you don't have a note on it, you don't necessarily have to. So you can self-insure. So it's fine, but just be proactive and thinking down the line. But literally everything you do to the exterior shell of that house, you've got to get a certificate on. So we're talking roof, windows, doors, siding, um, any kind of structural, any kind of addition. So say you had a porch and you want to close it in, you got to get that enclosure done, like all the things. So, and moving into that, any maintenance that you do, if you're just tightening up some handrails, changing out some bolts, that's not a big deal. But if you end up saying, oh, these boards are rotten, I've got to change it out, or this siding is damaged, I got to change it out, or this window is broken, I've got to change it out. That's something we need to be involved in. So there are limitations on, like, if you make very small repairs, there's like a threshold, and we can help kind of navigate that with you. And it's a weird formula, so I'm not going to even begin to try to tell you what the parameters are. But if you tell us, how much you're trying to replace, and we can look at your house and see if it meets that threshold, we can tell you, yes, you need a certificate, or no, it's exempt. And even if it's exempt, we could even go out and inspect it and say, hey, the repairs were done to the criteria, even though it's not eligible for a certificate. So that just gives you an extra layer of protection, or a little extra something to fight
on what needs
your insurance company, and say, hey, I did fix that, but here's the certificate.
Yeah.
Or here's a letter saying that it was done the right way, even though I can't get a certificate.
Right.
So,
well, if people have questions on what the steps they need to take, or do they need to get it recertified, or is it in that threshold, what's the best way for them to get hold of someone at Aran and Franklin?
You can call our main office. It's 409-935-5200, or you can email us at info@aranfranklin.com. And either way, a lot of people like to talk on the phone, that's fine, but email is really good, because then we can just automatically route it to the right person, and based on whatever their question is. We do have on our website a little info form that if they have a specific question, they can fill that out, and it emails the request into us also. And we usually respond to those within 24 hours. So during the work week,
Yeah, and the website's easy. It's just www, there at the bottom right-hand corner, aranfranklin.com. So, well, thanks for joining us today. And with her, before we know it, hurricane season will be here.
It is right around the corner. We blinked and it was March, and it's going to be, April, May here anytime, and hurricane season starts June 1. So having all this stuff done up front ahead of time is just so important. And like you said, just a good health checkup and if you're not even sure what you need to do, call us. We'll go take a walk around, look, and tell you what you need to fix, and anything that's kind of critical that you need to address with renters, or even just your own family safety. Because the main thing is being safe, and then after that, it's like, okay, well, longevity of the home, what's the best things to do? So there's definitely things that are more like life safety issues that we want to make sure are addressed. So especially on elevated beach houses.
Oh yeah, down here, I'd love to be able to walk into my house at ground level. I told Chris that's why I'd like to move to Highland, maybe, so that I could build on the ground. So we're going to head on out this week. Thanks for everyone for joining us. Remember, before you know it, hurricane season will be here. And I'm sure we're going to do some more shows on getting ready for that, some more strong home inspection program shows, and just in general, what you need to do to make sure you're prepared for the insurance company and for the next storm. So, Chandra, thanks for joining us. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye. Video equipment is sponsored by Crystal Beach Decor and More, located at 1959 Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas, and Beachy Beatnik Boutique and Jewelry, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas. Thank you to these two businesses for being our 2025 video equipment sponsor for Bolivar Live.